Hello, welcome to the Sports Doyen. This is Prathamesh, and this is the very first episode of the ISL Chatterbox. An exciting week of ISL from the last Saturday until yesterday, where Bengaluru played Chennaiyin in the derby. It was an absolute thrilling game until the very last minute. But unfortunately, any of the teams couldn't back the result that they wanted. Obviously, this is the ISL Chatterbox where we eat, sleep, and breathe ISL. It is going to be an excellent season, to look forward to. It has been brilliant so far, and as we approach the playoffs, it's going to be even more interesting to watch. And we are going to discuss the results. We're going to discuss how the table looks, which teams are in contention for qualifications, and we're also going to discuss some other, not so inspiring incidents. During the week, there was a managerial sacking, which was due to an absolutely, I would say, very stupid press conference, and then what happened with the goal of the week was excellent. I mean, the brilliant goal of the week, which we will discuss. Players like Amrinder, who inspired and impressed. Also, there are many other players who make it to the team of the week. Obviously, Roy Krishna and that stunning comeback from ATK Mohan Bagan against the Kerala Blasters. So, a lot to discuss, and we will go head off straight to the results first. I have Kushagra already with me. Great work, brother. Thank you so much, Kushagra. Thank you for joining the live. I know India is playing a test match, so it's kind of difficult to join right now. So but still, I think it's good to see people are here because the ISL is catching so many eyes, not just in India but globally. It has been one of the most watched football leagues in the world. So let's just hope that the entertainment continues. There have been a lot of talking points as well, which I will try to cover in this episode. Firstly, I would like to actually, start with, the results of the week, because this week has been an excellent week of football. Another week where a lot of surprise results have also taken place. If you just look at your screens now, you will be looking at the results. We're going to cover the results from 30th Jan to 5th February, which is essentially from last Saturday until yesterday evening, which is the Friday. On the last Saturday, it was Mumbai City FC who lost to Northeast United. An excellent performance by Khalid Jamil's men. He has been one of those managers who everybody have been keeping their tabs on for the last few years, and his Northeast team was absolutely inspired. It has been really great to see the way they have been performing. Gerard Noose was sacked earlier in the season, and he has replaced them, and he's been brilliant. A good performance there. Deshaun Brown getting a brace. The first goal was a really excellent cross, and the finish was stunning as well. So overall, I felt that was one of those games where Mumbai City FC slightly lost their edge. The 6 point gap that they had over ATK Mohan Bagan was lost in that game. So let's just that was one of those games which could have gone either way. After Adam Lefondre came in the second half and scored a goal late on, but Northeast showing that they have got a very good defense, and they held on very well, to be honest. They did a excellent defensive performance. Then going on the two games on the Sunday, which is the usual thing now in the ISL. The early kickoff was Hyderabad versus Chennaiyin. Hyderabad have been one of those teams who I've been saying for the last few weeks now. They've got the Roca they didn't want, but he is the Roca that has delivered what the Roca they wanted would have delivered, because the performance of this team has been absolutely brilliant. They have been playing some sleek football. Yes, they have been one of those teams who like to sit back, play on the transitions. But while they sit back, they aren't really, parking the bus kind of team. They are those kind of team who like to press for the ball. They like to, be proactive in defense, which is really good to see. They have some really good set piece routines. They have a player at the top, Aridane, who does, fantastically well for them up top. Players like Liston Colasso, players like Yasser, I think they have been totally brilliant this season. So it's been good to see Ashish Rai as well. He has been really good to see for Hyderabad. So a fantastic team, and the result in itself was brilliant against Chennai. They played a really good game. Again, in that game, Chennai indeed did dominate the ball, but it was Chinese goal in the second half and then Sandanza's goal in the first half that actually got them over the line. And coming to the second game on the Sunday, which was an absolute banger, The scoreline reads ATK Mohan Bagan 3 and Kerala Blasters 2. Usually, when you go and look at those kind of games, they are usually the ones that provide you a lot of entertainment. But this one just didn't have that. It had a lot of drama. It had a lot of lot of anger pouring out on the touchline. It had a lot of interesting spells in the game where one team dominated one half and the other dominated the other half. Kerala Blasters actually started this game quite well. They looked really assured whenever they were on the ball because ATK Mohan Bagan, another team who likes to play on the counter. Antonio Habas has made it his strategy over the years to play on the counter, be effective on transitions. His team usually plays with back 3/5, so they have that ability for players like Sumit Rathi, players like Preetham Kotal, players like Prabir Das to actually join those attacks and push forward. Their signing of Marcelino has been brilliant because that is one signing that has helped them to be even better further up the pitch, along with Roy Krishna, who is obviously one of those guys who just scores goals for fun. And as we were talking indeed about Kerala Blasters, they did start the game very well. They scored two early goals. I mean, the Gary Hooper goal. Wow. I mean, if anyone would remember the 2014 goal in the World Cup, which James Rodriguez scored. That was one of the goals that usually stands out, right, in the minds of football fans. That's one of those goals where you just took a first touch, just shifted and onto his left boot and just banged it. And this one from Gary Hooper. Unfortunately, I can't show it out here, but it was an absolute banger of a goal. If you guys haven't checked that out, please go to Hotstar or YouTube or any other platform where you can actually view that goal. It was a fantastic goal, a goal that deservedly put them in the lead. And then, to be honest, Blasters did really well. They hung on to the ball well. They made sure that ATK Mohan Bagan didn't have a sniff. They finished the second half well, first half well as well because it was important that they did that. And then in the second half, early on, they got a really important set piece opportunity, which was converted by Costa. A very good goal from him there. It was good to see that that the Kerala centre backs were actually looking good in defence, and when they got those set piece opportunities, they were absolutely fantastic. Coming to ATK Mohan Bagan, it was a really interesting transition that they made in the second half because they realized at one point that they needed a little more pace up front. They needed a little more guile. Needed that. They needed Marcelino not to be the focal point in the attack, or to join in with Roy Krishna. They needed him slightly deeper so that he could create better. Obviously, helped. Manveer and Pranay Haldar did really well after coming on. It was Marcelino who started the comeback. It was Manveer's assist indeed. So an inspired substitution in a way, I would say. So fantastic goal there, and then Roy Krishna striking home a penalty, and obviously Roy Krishna. I mean, the more you talk about him, he only makes you go all in all, right? Because he's one of those strikers in the last couple of seasons in the ISL who has been, an absolute dream of a striker for any manager. He works hard. He's someone who is always willing to run in behind the defense. He's someone who will drop deep when it's needed. Just to take control of the ball. He has good vision. He has the game in his brain, so he's able to pass the ball out to right position to right players at the right positions. And again, this goal was again just all about Roy Krishna. I mean, from the moment that he took the ball to that moment that he actually took the shot, the defender absolutely stood no chance. He shielded the ball really well and then came up with an excellent finish as Roy Krishna usually does and completed the comeback. And to say the least, Roy Krishna was indeed one of the best players in the game, and all that we talked about Kerala Blasters in the first half being resilient, being strong, and everything else, just it just didn't work out for them in the second half, and they were absolutely brilliant. Good to see some comments coming in as well. Meda says, great to see content in ISL. Keep going. Thank you. Uh, Jakpal Reddy says, hi Jakpal. I hope that that trophy that is there on your Facebook profile photo is being covered. We get a similar trophy here in the test series that's been going on too. Rohan Gulati, the Mister O positive Rohan is here, and he says, "Good to see ISL being covered. Great job. Thank you, Rohan. Good to see you joining as well." He agrees with the Roy Krishna thing, and I feel it's rather unsurprisingly that he agrees because Roy Krishna, I agree, Rohan has been probably one of the most influential players in the ISL in the last 2 seasons, and his performance again was fantastic. Good to see him playing so well. Going to the other result, right? On the 1st of February, a result that mattered a lot, probably not as in terms of the match, but what happened in the aftermath of the game. I do not really wish to go in depth in regard of that result because I felt, that was an absolute stupid analogy by Stuart Baxter, an analogy that deserved to be sacked. He deserved the sack which he got, and it was just really bad to see someone who is such an experienced manager who has done it at so many different levels to come out with things like that. I know that Odisha fans and the Odisha players were frustrated. They weren't getting the penalty which they deserved. The refereeing standards, yes, there has been a lot of talk about it in the ISL, and initially when we saw the ISL games, they weren't really up to the mark. But things have been improving, and there is always something new to come out of it. These referees, the more they get experience in these kind of games, they're going to learn more. But I don't think any amount of frustration is valid when you talk such nonsense on television. So I just hope for Stuart Baxter's he just is able to reflect on this and apologize because I don't think it values anything about football. I know Odisha put up a post right after the game saying that this is not these are not our sentiments, these are not our values, and I feel this is not the value of the sport or even humanity. So I just hope that Stuart Baxter can look upon that and work on it. And taking nothing away from Jamshedpur, who have been brilliant under Owen Coyle. They got Farooq Chaudhary back after trading Jackie Chan Singh to the Mumbai City FC. It was good to see Farooq play well because he's been on the fringes at Mumbai. Never really looked as if he was going to get a starting spot. It was good. It was really good to see him do well in this game. I think he was making some good runs. He was always willing to take on those 1v1 situations. He was willing to fight for the ball. It is really good to see. I think that is one of the things that has been a little complained, I would say, about Farooq Chaudhary at Mumbai City FC, that he was not willing to fight for the ball. He wasn't really into the game as much. But I think Owen Coyle has brought that back in him. He's looked really good in that game, especially. And Jamshedpur won that game 1-0. So congratulations to them. It was a result that was important for them because they needed that. They needed that rise in form. They need to keep fighting for as many points as they can to still stand an outside chance of making it into the top four. So an important result for them, I would feel. Coming to the next one, I know that a lot of Bengaluru FC fans here, and it was indeed a tough thing to see Kale Squadart leave the club in the mid part of the ISL. But obviously, this season has been quite curious for Bengaluru FC. The things haven't really gone their way. Uh, they're usually known for their sturdiness. They're known for their creativity. They're known for their work rate. They're known for their determination. They're known for being clinical, but all those things just didn't happen for them this season, and it hadn't been happening until this very result because I felt this was a result that actually put a lot of impetus back on them, a result that will delight a lot of Bengaluru FC fans, I'm sure, a result that will obviously go down well with the interim manager as well, because I feel this was a result they needed to stay in the push for the top four spots. A good result against SC East Bengal, who themselves didn't have a good start to the season, but are looking better and better as the season's progressing. There have been a lot of talks, right, about this East Bengal team not being ISL quality yet. They prepared a team for the I League. It's good that they came to the ISL because I felt the ISL deserved a team like East Bengal, deserved someone like Mohan Bagan to come in. It was good to see historic clubs be a part of the ISL. So that was something good to see. Kushagra is here in the comments. Let's go ATK Mohan Bagan. Yes, yes, I am pretty sure there will be a lot of ATK Mohan Bagan fans as well, because they play tonight, and we will discuss that later as well. But coming back to East Bengal, they've been looking good this season. After the initial spread where it looked like they couldn't even buy a victory even if they wanted to. They have been playing some good football. But this game was again, a fantastic game for Bengaluru FC. This was one of those games where Bengaluru actually did well on the ball. They looked better, when they were going forward in offensive transitions. Obviously, players like Partalu, who have been really important for them. Partalu and Delgado are almost synonymous with all the Bengaluru FC fans over the years, and it was good to see them do well. Partalu obviously came on late in the game, but it was all about Harmanjot Singh Khabra, who actually did well. And apologies for that. I think Patalu came on yesterday, but it was this game against East Bengal where I think it was actually Suresh Wanjam and Harmanjot Khabra who played in midfield, and they did really well. Um, Again, I think Sunil Chetri and Clayton has been one of those combinations they have been tinkering all the season long, and it was something that hadn't been working out for them, unfortunately. But if you look at Clayton's goal against East Bengal, it was an absolute fantastic goal. The second goal also, which they conceded, right? The one that went in of Devjit Muzumdar at the end. It was given as an own goal of the SC East Bengal goalkeeper, and it was another brilliant move. Ended out, in a rather unfortunate fashion for the East Bengal goalkeeper, because he didn't either get he couldn't either make the save also. It went down as an own goal, so that was really unfortunate. He didn't really have much reaction time, to be honest. Um, Also, Bangalore did well to control the ball in the second half, because we all know the quality that East Bengal have up front as well. You know, Bright Eno Bakhare. I know I'm little butchering his name a little, but he has absolutely been bright since he's taken his East Bengal stride. He's looked really good. He's someone who dribbles really well. He is very direct. He likes taking on the defenders and the right backs and the centre backs. He's really good at that. He's someone who's always, going to come in from the left and try to take a shot on. He's very courageous in that sense. He's very physical as well. It's very difficult to knock him off the ball. He's a good. He can shield the ball very well as well. So that these qualities was exactly something that they were looking for, and they did get this in Bright. So that was good to see. I think he's been playing really well. Again, Ajay Chetri, who joined from Bengaluru, if I'm not wrong, on loan to East Bengal, did a good job in the game. But there will be a lot of signs of improvement for East Bengal yet to take place. So good result overall for them. For Bengaluru, I think East Bengal, yes, they are at the bottom of the table right now, and a lot of East Bengal fans haven't been happy with the way the sudden transition has come upon them. But I think with no relegation, this is something that they could brace well. Robbie Fowler, obviously, there are a lot of things that haven't gone his way. Unfortunately, things that aren't in his control. The finances, the signings, etc. The way the whole team has had to be gelled into this very tight knit schedule. So there are things that will improve, over the course of the season, and absolutely in next season, because I think next season will be the one that they will be definitely targeting to do better. So good performance either ways. Going to the next result, the Kerala Blasters played Mumbai City FC on the 3rd of February, and the Blasters were the ones who again took the lead in the first half. Rather, it was a rather kick in the backside for Mumbai in a sense, because Adam Lefondre had three or four beautiful opportunities at the start of the game. Which on any other day, I'm pretty sure Lefondre would have definitely converted at least a couple of them. And he just wasn't having his mojo on the day. And Kerala Blasters did really well. It was Vicente Gomez who scored the goal for the Kerala Blasters. A really good taken set piece by Sahal. And Sahal, to be honest, in the game looked really well. This is one of those games in the season where Sahal is always known as like the up and down player, right? He hasn't been consistently performing over the last two seasons, but this was one game where he put his head down, worked hard, got into positions in between the defense and the midfield, took the ball on. he was always looking for that creative ball where that would be in behind the defense for the striker. So it was a good performance in the first half by the Blasters. They were defensively solid, offensively on the transition they looked absolutely brilliant. But then the second half kind of started like you would say it was something that was coming anyway. But in the very first minute of the second half, it was Bipin who, with another brilliant performance of his, notched in a goal from a couple of yards in. It was a really well crafted goal, well created goal from the right hand side. Again, Yugo Bumu being one of those influential characters in the team. His influence on the pitch is hardly ever underrated. He's one of the best midfielders in the ISL, and his performance again was brilliant on the night. He looked as if he wanted to. He looked at he could create a goal every time they went on transition. So, another influential performance by him. And then coming to Adam Lefondre, I mean, he missed three or four golden opportunities in the first half. Things weren't really working out for him, and then he gets a penalty of foul by Costa, who scored a goal in the last match which they played against the Mohun Bagan. A really well taken penalty. I think the Blasters goalkeeper usually is very good. Albino Gomez is very good of penalties. He's good at saving them. He's good of reading the mind of the striker. But if you look at the penalty from Lefondre, he absolutely smashed it in the bottom right hand corner. I mean, the bottom left for the goalkeeper, who stood absolutely no chance even if he had guessed the right way. At the end, he was kind of left standing right in between. He couldn't even move. That was the pace of the penalty. That was the precision of the penalty, which was taken really well. And a victory for Mumbai City FC that they genuinely needed, because had this win not come under their belt, they knew that ATK Mohun Bagan were playing again on the Saturday, and there was always this possibility that ATK Mohun Bagan would beat Odisha, and they would level on points. So I think this was one of those victories that Mumbai absolutely had to dig out no matter what. And even Sergio Libera did say in his post-match press conference that this is the attitude that they have been striving for the entire season, and they have been having this attitude really well. A good performance by Rowlin and Rainier in the absence of Ahmed Jahu, who has been Mumbai City FC's midfield marshal, midfield general. He's been brilliant this season, but he has had his fair share of temper issues with on the pitch. He gets carded consistently, and I think that is one of the reasons why he wasn't there in the team. So unfortunately, Jao was missing out, but I think Mumbai City FC still made it through. And you can't make it through such tight games if your goalkeeper is not good enough, right? Amrinder was absolutely fantastic. He saved everything that came his way except for the first Blasters goal. And I think he made 8 or 9 saves in the game. It was an absolutely stunning performance by Amrinder. He has been truly knocking on the door to become India's number one goalkeeper this after this ISL season, and it will really be a good headache for the Indian manager, because he now just doesn't have to pick between Amrinder and Gurpreet Singh Sandhu. He's got a lot of goalkeepers like who have done really well. Players like Vishal Kaid, players like Albino Gomez. They've been brilliant this season. Katimani has been good when called upon for Hyderabad. So he definitely has a lot of good options, a lot of good pool of goalkeepers to select from. I'll just take a couple of comments. Rohan Gulati asking if Odisha FC had been performing well this season, would they still have sacked Stuart Baxter? What do you think? Um, Rohan, Odisha FC are one of those teams, since their inception in the ISL, one of the major motives has to build a club that has good values, that has good culture, that is a proper grooming center for players, for young players who want to you know grow and become the best in India, the best in the world in the future. And I think that has been their long term objective, that has been their ambition. And I'm pretty sure, even if Odisha FC were on the top of the table at that point of time, Stuart Baxter's press conference was, unacceptable in any way. So personally, I feel, Rohan, they would have still stacked Stuart Baxter. I don't think he deserved the job after what he did say. Meda adds in the comments, Westbrook Blues be like Monday Blues this season. Yeah, they have been like Monday Blues this season at times, but there's always a glimmer of hope. Ahmed Musa has been doing pretty well, to be honest. He's taken on the responsibility. It's never easy after to join any club mid-season, let alone in the ISL, because the ISL is a shortened league in any case, only 11 teams. You do not have a lot of time to actually prove your worth. But I think he's done really well. All credit to him, and I feel Bengaluru, even if they can't make the top four this season, there has been a lot of off-field issues as well that has bothered them. But they will be coming back stronger next season. So that's the hope. Coming to the next two results, I think two results that probably were really, really important in that fight for the third and fourth spot in the ISL table. Because Northeast United played FC Goa. Northeast United, I mean, we talked about them in the victory against Mumbai. Khalid Jamil, absolute fantastic manager, someone who has taken giant strides in the ISL, especially this season. FC Goa, who, to be honest, and it's a little unfair to them in a way, but half of their squad has moved to Mumbai City FC along with with their manager last season. This season they've looked good in patches. Their midfielder Edupedia has been absolutely influential. He's someone that the entire team look up to whenever he plays. He's really good player. So he's also the highest passing. He has the highest passes in the ISL this season. So I think he has really been dominating in midfield. For FC Goa, again, Igor Agulo has been absolutely brilliant this season. He's taken everything that's come his way, and he scored goals whenever he could. He is indeed a goal scorer, but it was always about players like Jasuraj, who did score the first goal in the game for FC Goa. It was about these players who will really stand up now and they have to deliver, because the crust of their team is actually gone. They needed better quality players in the transfer window. They didn't really get there, but I think Juan Ferrando can absolutely look at this team and be proud of it, because I think they put on a good performance even in that 2-2 draw. They got a lucky break. They got a good goal from Chesuraj. That was really good to see. But I feel again the headlines were all about Northeast, right? Because the club who is always in the bottom fringes of the table, a club that is never given a chance to be anywhere close to the ISL Shield, or to be fighting for the ISL title. And Gerard Noose earlier all in the season, and then now Khalid Jamil. The brand of football that this team has been playing in the entire season has been so good to watch. It's so brave. It's so fluidic. They're so determined to get the result in their way. And again, when you have players like Federico Gallego, who is an absolute beast, in midfield, his creativity, his work rate, his desire to win games. He is someone who's always there for those bad moments. He's someone who thrives of converting those bad moments into good moments for his club. It's really good to have that kind of a player in the ISL. Gallego has been there and done it for a long time now for Northeast United, and it was his two penalties in this game that actually brought them level. And they got a good result, I would say, because I think they needed to stop Goa from winning, because they are close competitors uh, in the ISL top four race. So a good result for them overall. And coming to the final game of the week that we're going to discuss. That is Bengaluru versus Chennaiyin, and Bengaluru versus Chennaiyin ended nil-nil for all the hype around this game, all the rivalry and everything that comes along with this. It was an absolutely disappointing game, to be honest, in the first half, because it didn't live up to the expectations. Although Chennaiyin, went hell for leather in the first half. They had a few good. They forced a good saves out of Gurpreet Singh Sandhu, but it was the second half that really looked like any team would get somewhere. I think Mimo came absolutely close with the strike. If you couldn't catch on the strike, please do watch the highlights of the Bengaluru versus Chennai in game. That strike absolutely deserved to go bang in the bottom corner. It didn't, unfortunately, hit the post and came back. So the result of the game was nil-nil. Not a lot of highlights in this game. Not a lot of not a lot of things to talk about in this game. But again, a result that I felt Bengaluru should be more happy than Chennai, because as their manager rightly said after the game, that the amount of chances that Chennai created, which although weren't clear cut, but most of the chances that were created belonged to Chennai. The possession belonged to Chennai. And he did say that the Bengaluru managers said that they were absolutely lucky to come out of this game without conceding a goal, which is absolutely true. Chennai, obviously, with Shaba Laszlo, they have been good this season. I've seen a lot of memes on Shaba Laszlo, unfortunately, uh, especially when he has this one mask loop on his ear and the other just flies along. There have been a lot of memes on that. But coming to his football and the way he is, coached this team, especially after the loss of Crevellaro, who is, obviously their main player. You could say is Mr. Chennaiyin in a way, but they lost him due to injury. And Anirudh Thapa and Isba have been the players who have really shown this season. Changte has been brilliant again. Ali Sabi has looked good, and they're building a good squad. They're building a good team. The game was again really good, but Chennai are one of those teams who failed to convert on their chances, especially Changte. If you look at the couple of chances that he got in the game, Changte absolutely should have, put the game beyond doubt and, converted both of those chances. But it wasn't his day in a way. And after discussing all the results, we will talk a little bit about today's game because, it's an important game. If you look at the ISL points table right now, you can see Mumbai City FC on the top with 10 wins, 33 points, a massive goal difference. In the goal difference chart, the first section is the goals for, and the second is goals against. ATK Mohan Bagan right behind them on 27 points, FC Goa on 22 points, Hyderabad on 22 points, Northeast on 22 points. So there are three teams who are on 22 points, but being separated by goal difference, which is why I said that that result between Goa and Northeast was so important for Northeast to pull back. Jamshedpur on an 18. They do stand an outside chance, but they will have to fight for it a lot. Chennai, it has been disappointing. They only won three matches this season. 17 points, but not a lot to show for it. Um, Kerala Blasters again 15 points this season. East Bengal have got 13 points, and Odisha, are on the bottom with 8 points. So looking at the points table, if people are just tuning into the ISL at this very stage, there have been a lot of draws this season. There have been a lot of games where it hasn't been bright. But if you look at teams like Mumbai, like ATK Mohan Bagan, like Goa, like Northeast, I think certain games of Bengaluru, certain games of Chennai, they've absolutely had their sparks. Kerala Blasters have provided entertainment. It's always a joy to play against the Blasters because they are one of the most reputed clubs in the ISL, and they have been running this club really well. So the points table again, if you just have a look at it, Mumbai at the top and ATK Mohan Bagan is the team that we're going to discuss now. They play Odisha. Odisha have appointed an interim manager. His name is Gerard Payton. He has been linked to this job before, and He's been a goalkeeping coach as well at Arsenal before, so he has got a little pedigree. He has got a little experience. So let's just hope that Gerard Payton can actually take this club to success. In whatever is remaining of the season. And in terms of this game, that when they play TK Mohan Bagan, it's absolutely difficult to see any other result than a Mohan Bagan win. Roy Krishna is in top form. Marcelino is looking good. Carl McHugh has been absolutely rock solid in midfield. They have got good defenders as well. Their goalkeeper looks solid. So I think they've got a lot of things going well for them. Players like Kotal, like Manveer, they've looked brilliant this season. Prabir Das has been good as well. Sumit Rathi has looked good at left wing back. So I think overall this game just ekes out, of an ATK Mohan Bagan win. Any other result would be shocking, to be honest. That's just my personal view on this game. We have a few stats to look at. In the Golden Boot race right now, it is Igor Agulo from FC Goa is leading with 10 goals. Roy Krishna is joining him with 9 goals. Adam Lefondre is on 8 goals. He's slightly ahead of Nerjus Vasquez because he scored those 8 goals in lesser time. Going to the Golden Glove, this is a new way to look at the Golden Glove. The MPG means minutes per goal conceded, and Amrinder Singh is in the top at 168. I would say it is an obvious stat that you can also see look at it subjectively, looking at how Amrinder has absolutely performed well this season. It helps when you have players like Murtada Fall and Hanan Santana and Rowland Borges and Ahmed Jawo in defensive midfield and in defense, who can absolutely do a brilliant job guarding him. But his performance, to be honest, has been brilliant as well. Arindam, the ATK Mohan Bagan goalkeeper, we just talked about him being in good form as well. Katimadi from Hyderabad has been impressive. He's on third. The most passes, and not at all shocked to see two Mumbai City FC names there below Edu Bedia, who has been brilliant for Goa. But Ahmed Jahu, the transfer from Goa to Mumbai City FC, 881 passes, and Rowland Borges at 862. He has been good as well this season. He has been probably one of the most underrated midfielders in the ISL this season. So it will really be a mouth-watering partnership. Looking forward to, because not just about Jahu and Borges, but the partnership for the Indian team with Thapa and Borges will be something that we will really look forward to. Ahmed Jahu, 114 tackles, is at the top of the list in tackles. Eta Monroy from Jamshedpur is 89, and Carl McHugh, who we just talked about, in the ATK Mohan Bagan setup, is on third with 80. So, he's been brilliant as well. Coming to the last section of the show, actually, where we talk about, the inspiring factors of this week. We will talk about the team of the week. We will look at the manager of the week, the player of the week, and I'm pretty sure not a lot of people have doubts in this, but we will look at the goal of the week, that goal by Gary Hooper. Coming first straight away to that, I mean, Gary Hooper's goal, as I discussed during the Kerala Blasters game itself, his goal was an absolute, it was an absolute stunner. I mean, I was absolutely in shock and awe when I watched that goal. I couldn't believe that he didn't start the next game against Mumbai City FC. But his performance this season has always been up and down. But that goal absolutely summed up, what he's capable of. Probably one of the goals of the season, not just the goal of the week. Along with Vignesh Dakshinamurthy's goal, early on in the season, this will definitely be a contender. Coming to the player of the week, and I know there have been a lot of good defensive performances this season. There have been fantastic performances in midfield. They have created a lot of goals, but at the end of the day, when you perform like this guy performs week in week out, it's very difficult to look beyond him. Roy Krishna is obviously our player of the week. His couple of goals against the Blasters in the second half turned the game on its head. One of them was a penalty. The second one was an absolutely brilliantly taken goal. One that if you're a striker, you could just watch again and again and again, and it would look absolutely brilliant. So, congratulations to Roy Krishna. I know it means a lot for us to mention him here. I hope if he's watching that he's happy looking at someone naming him his player of the week. Coming to the manager of the week, and I feel I've given a little segue there before about who is the manager of the week, who is the manager that has impressed a lot of people this season, and the answer is not too far away. It is Khalid Jamil, who has been absolutely top notch. They've beaten Mumbai City FC. They beat ATK Mohan Bagan in the fixture before that. They played absolutely brilliantly against FC Goa again. Those two Gallego penalties were really good for them, and they did get the result in their favor. So congratulations to Khalid Jamil. And personally, I've seen this guy manage Mumbai FC before. He's played for Mumbai FC before as well. So I genuinely want him to do well. He's done well in the I League with Mohan Bagan, with East Bengal. He's had a good record. So let's just hope now that he can take that step further in his career. And I'm desperately, hoping that he reaches the height that he deserves to be. He's just 43, so lots and lots of years left for him to achieve what he should ideally achieve. Coming to the last section, to the team of the week, it was a difficult choice because there have been lots of brilliant performances this week in the ISL. But I have tried in the best of my ability, and I think the entire TST team can agree to this team of the week. Amrinder Singh, the Mumbai City FC goalkeeper, has been top notch this week, and he retains a spot in goal. Ashish Rai, Benjamin Lambert, Chingal Sana Singh, Narendra Gahlot, these are the defenders. Joao Victor and Vicente Gomez. Vicente Gomez, who scored for Kerala Blasters against Mumbai. Apart from that, his performance in defensive midfield has been immense. He's contributed to a lot of blocks. He's made some interceptions as well. He's been absolutely brilliant to watch this week. Federico Gallego, another player who has been the face of Northeast United for the last few years, and his apart from the couple of penalties that he put in this week, his performance against Mumbai City FC, the work rate, the determination, the creativity, even in the game against FC Goa was absolutely brilliant. Coming to the forwards, Roy Krishna makes it to the right wing. I know it's an off position for him, but this is the position where he has played for Fiji before. So I've put him there. His performance, as we have talked about, and as the player of the week, he has been brilliant. Bipin Singh for Mumbai City FC, the second player from Mumbai to make this list. His performance again has been something to watch out for. He's a good future for the Indian national team as well. He's made the second most assists in the Mumbai City FC setup. He's scored a second goal this week, so congratulations to him. He's made about four assists or five assists this season. He's looked good, genuinely good for Mumbai, and he's one of those players who surprised Sergio Lobera. To be honest, I don't think anybody saw Bipin being a regular mainstay in this team. And coming to the final player in the team of the week rather is Deshaun Brown. He scored he scored really two well taken goals against Mumbai City FC. He wasn't looking in the best of forms before that game. Then he moved to Northeast and banged in two goals and looked absolutely right in place. So this is it for the ISL Chatterbox. I know a lot of people have joined in the comments. Akshay Kadam says hello. Akshay, hi Akshay. Rohan agrees. I feel this was with the Odisha FC comment. Where they sacked Stuart Baxter. So yeah, I mean, this has really been a good 40-41 minutes. We have talked about everything in the ISL. Please do mention in the comments in this video, if there are any changes that you wish to make in the team of the week. How impressed you have been with Khalid Jamil about that Gary Hooper goal, which I think will be remembered by Kerala Blasters fans for years to come. And obviously about Roy Krishna. I mean, who would not want to talk about Roy Krishna, right? He's absolutely brilliant. Mumbai will continue on their title charge, but we are desperately waiting to see the result of today. ATK Mohan Bagan play Odisha at 7:30 p.m. IST. Do check in onto Hotstar or Star Sports to watch the game. And thank you to everyone for joining the ISL Chatter Box. And we'll be back again next week on Saturday discussing the results between this Saturday, I mean the ATK Mohan Bagan result, until the next Friday. So thank you to everyone and keep tuned to the Sports Doyen. Smash the subscribe button and the bell icon for following all our upcoming videos. We are live actually at 5:30, which is in 45 minutes, to talk about the cricket fixture today, the India England second day. So thank you and see you also.